It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2, 3, 4 for the final time.
Win number 1 of the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the Iowa Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
It is said that the best corn comes from Iowa. Little known fact, some of the best racing also comes from Iowa at this little 7/8 of a mile track in Newton. Welcome to the Iowa Speedway, here for race number 14 of season number 2 of the NOFSRL Scots National Series. We're here for the Pizza Ranch 250, the first of 2 stops at the Iowa Speedway here on the Scots National campaign. 42 cars going to take on this 7/8 of a mile track for 50 laps, and it's going to be an interesting one for sure, with Hamill Racing Enterprises' Mike Cook leading off from the pole position. Let's go down trackside, get you your starting lineup so we can get this pace lap started. And we're going to get these cars rolling here at Iowa Speedway. It's Mike Cook on the pole position in that 29. He's going to start alongside Winnie Calhoun in car number 20. In row number 2, we're going to find Quentin Moore in the 88. He is starting alongside Louis Zankala in the 19. In row number 3, it's Boston Jones in the 18, starting alongside Joshua Harrison. In row number 4, we find Carter Joey alongside last week's winner, Alex Watson, the 00. Rounding out the top 10, Jordan Lopez, 2-time winner this season, alongside Dale Lightning, who will soon make the trip over to Atlanta Motor Speedway to participate in the Dr. Pepper Cherry All-Star Challenge tomorrow night at Atlanta. Pace car coming around, leading the field to the green flag. It's going to be a good one here at Iowa. Here we go. Green flag getting ready to come out here for the Pizza Ranch 250, 50 laps here. The green flag is in the air. We're racing in Iowa. Lap 1 is led handedly by Mike Cook over everybody else. Quentin Moore and Winnie Calhoun, though, going to go side by side there for that second position. Give it to Quentin Moore down there on the inside in car number 88. Calhoun to third, Jones, Zankala the top 5. Are they going to try 3 wide there for third position? Zankala to the inside of Jones and Calhoun, and he's going to take that spot away. This is some tight, risky racing going on here at Iowa. 3 wide behind again, as Watts is going to go to the inside of Lopez and Calhoun. Calhoun, who continues to slip back on the outside there, but up front is still Cook, Moore, Zankala. Moore trying to run down the 29, and Zankala, the Phoenix winner, waiting in the wings in case something happens. Watts 4th, Juan Rodriguez in the 5th position there in car number 73. Already 3 laps done here at Iowa Speedway, coming to complete lap number 4, this time by. Green flag is still out here. Expect a pit cycle, I would probably say around the 30s or so, depending on how this race shakes out. Of course, we could have an early caution, and we could end up having 2 pit cycles, as opposed to just the 1. But I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that that would happen just yet. It's been a fairly calm race so far here at Iowa Speedway. Mike Cook still leads. Quentin Moore trying to find a way around. Louis Zankala is right there in the 19 as well. Cook is going to slide up the track a little bit. It'll allow Moore to get to the inside. They're going to be side by side coming down the front straightaway here. And headed off into turn number 1. Moore's going to have the advantage in that 88, and he's going to take the lead away from the Hamill Racing Enterprises Supra. So now it will be more Zankala if he can get around that 29. Yes, indeed. So it'll be Moore, Zankala, Cook, Rodriguez, and Calhoun, the top 5 right now here at Iowa Speedway. And Macro gives the old boot scoot boogie to Ethan Farley there going off into turn number 1. He will take that position away. That's 8th on the track right now. Looking back through the rest of the field here, it is still fairly packed here, and even 3 wide for 40th place there, as Jordan Lopez, 2-time winner of the season, falls into the last position on track right now. Mike Cook has gotten back around Louis Zankala. That is for the 2nd position. And meanwhile, here comes Reagan Whitlock starting to march his way up through the field, moving into the 11th position, looks like, behind 10th place Madison Tall. And again, things staying fairly calm throughout the majority of the field so far here at Iowa. Macro getting by Harrison for 7th. And Farley will take advantage of that for the 8th position. Tall going to look for 9th, as Harrison's still stuck on that outside lane. This is definitely an inside groove dependent track. And meanwhile, here comes the battle for 2nd. Zankala on Cook. Will that 19 be able to get back by that 29? Headed off into 1. He's got a good chance of making a dive there. And indeed he will. Louis Zankala back to the 2nd position here at Iowa Speedway on lap number 12 of the Pisa Ranch 250. Last car on the track right now, Roberto Crown Jr., the 27, has fallen a lap down. Strange. Wonder what happened there. Whatever happened, he is now back in 42nd place. As taking a look here, back towards the back of the field, Jordan Lopez starting to march his way back up through the field after falling behind early. He's now gotten around Igor Barreto in the 84, moved from 36th to 34th. 2 positions gained that lap, and then gaining another as he goes around Boston Jones in the 18. Now Winnie Calhoun's going to go by Louis Zankala there for the 2nd position, but Quentin Moore continues to lead this thing here early on, just before halfway. And again, expecting pit cycle sometime around lap 30 or so. We should only have 1 pit cycle to worry about if we go green the rest of the way. We've been green the entirety of the race so far. Calhoun gonna make a dive on the inside of Quentin Moore in turn 1 and 2. Not quite there on the inside, but out of turn 2. Still taking a peek, could get the dive, headed off into turn 3. Yes, she will on the inside of Quentin Moore. They're side by side. And give it to Winnie Calhoun coming out of corner number 4, just by a half a car length at the line. But surely Calhoun will clear Moore in turn 1 and 2, and indeed she will. So Quentin Moore will fall back into the 2nd position. And the Armory Digital winner takes the lead from the Fontana winner. Mike Cook still looking for his first on the season. Zankala won at Pocono. Watts last week at Dover. Macro looking for his first. Rodriguez, the season opener at Homestead. Toll looking for a 2nd career win after last season at Chicagoland. Zankala took a look there on Cook, headed off into 1. Not able to get there to the inside just yet. Macro stretching away from this battle going on here between the 73 and 00. Give it to the 73 of Rodriguez. On On to lap 20 we go. 19 complete. Car number 20 leads. And look at this mess back here. They still have not quite calmed it down yet. Boy, it's going to be a bear to navigate traffic if these leaders eventually do catch up to them. That's a big if, though. It may not happen. As Calhoun's going to come down the pit road. Well, I got my estimate wrong. It's lap 21. So we're going to have a two-stop race here at Iowa Speedway. Calhoun's going to come down onto the pit road. Moore, Zankala, Macro, Rodriguez. That'll move Alex Kelly to the race lead ahead of Nick Martins, Eric Olson, Carter Joey, Jackson Harrison. As now those guys will come down and Jackson Harrison will stay out ahead of DJ Reed. Harrison coming around to lead lap 22 onto lap 23 as pit cycles are still going on. And I would suspect that we're going to see the rest of the cars come down this time by, with the exception possibly of Roberto Crown Jr. And looks like that is exactly what happened. So I believe with that, Winnie Calhoun is on track to cycle into the race lead with pit cycles having wrapped up this time by. We'll have to see what happens. Is Harrison, could he get a leapfrog here on the rest of the field? No, he won't here, because here comes Calhoun. Right now, actually, apparently Roberto Crown Jr. is leading this thing. Roberto Crown Jr., who had pit earlier, I think, is now leading this race ahead of what will be Mike Cook, ahead of Winnie Calhoun, Quentin Moore, and Louis Zankala. But Cook is definitely closing in on that 27 quick. Roberto Crown Jr. has been out there on that stuff for a long, long time now. And he is about to lose the lead to the 29, and he will. But that held up Cook a little bit. Could Calhoun get back by? Right now, the only two other cars a lap down. The only cars a lap down, period. William Brock, Alex Kelly, and Max Anderson. Max Anderson's actually 3 laps down now. There's Alex Kelly on the pit road. Interesting. Well, here's Cook. Headed off into turn number 1. Calhoun going to take a look down low as Cook drove it in wide. They're going to be side by side down the back straightaway. Headed off into corner number 3. And Calhoun's going to have the advantage there coming out of the 4th turn and have the race lead. There's a car in the grass. Oh, brother. I don't know. Looks like Kelly's having an exorcism right now. Doing a little do-si-do over there in the grass. But everything has been clean so far in this race. Looks like we may be expecting another pit cycle around lap 42. So Calhoun leads. Cook, Zankala, Moore, and Macro. That is the top 5 right now. Watts, Rodriguez, Ruiz, Martins, and Yodel. That is the top 10 here at Iowa Speedway. Top 10 in total, separated by about 7.5 seconds. As for the race lead, Cook gonna go back by Calhoun. Now Calhoun will have to worry about the 60 of William Brock, not just Mike Cook. The lap car of the 60 now in between them. And do you just try to make it to the pit cycle at this point? Cook slid a little wide there. We could see Brock getting to the inside of that 29 and maybe allowing Calhoun to reel back in on that 29. And looks like indeed Brock will get to the inside of Cook. Is that going to hurt him? Headed off into turn number 1 here. Will Calhoun close back up? Not enough to make the move, but definitely did close up. So it'll be Cook, Calhoun, Moore, Zankala, Macro. As Macro and Watts go side by side. "15 laps to go." One more pit cycle before this race comes to an end. Sliding wide there, turn 3 and 4. DJ Reed and Vic Merlin gonna go side by side there. That's for 27th on track. Give it to Merlin in the 13. Roberto Crown Jr., who slipped back after pitting earlier in this run. He is in 40th. Now a lap down again. Now coming around for 13 laps to go, and a handful away from the final pit cycle. You can just kind of tell they've slowed up to the point where they're just kind of riding around here for the rest of the race to see if they can make it. Well, they can't make it until they have a cycle, so they're just trying to take it smooth and slow to the cycle. That is, unless you're Alex Watts. See, he used up just about every inch of that left side of the 19 and put Zankala back in the 5th position from 4th. And now Watts is going to go to the inside of Quentin Moore for 3rd place. He's going to take that spot away. Still clean and green so far at Iowa Speedway. Out of the 2nd corner comes Cook. Sticking on the higher line. Still not coming down the pit road. 10 laps to go this time by. 0.61 the gap. And it was on lap 21 that they came down the last time. And we're going to see Cook come down now. Calhoun's going to stay out. Anybody else? Sure doesn't look like it. Sure looks like that's all who's going to come down. At least that time anyway. Because we're going to see a few more come down now. Watson Moore not among them. Coming around for 8 laps to go though. Everyone coming down for their last cycle right now. And it is likely whoever wins the race off the pit road here could end up winning the whole race. Nick Martins is going to cycle into the lead. Still waiting for him to come down in car number 22. The caution's out. The caution's out. In the middle of pit cycles, up in the turn 3 area. Snare and Declan Wellington Turner. And now we wonder, who is left to battle for the win of this race? Because certainly there have been some cars that came down onto the... There were some cars that came down on the pit road before the caution came out. Right now, the standings board says Carter Joey is leading. Although when it cycles through, I do believe... No, because Timothy Ruiz was a lap down. So who's going to be leading this race? We'll take a look at that in just a second. As they come around here, we will see the standings update. It's unfortunate for Riley Snare and Declan Wellington Turner. Whatever happened there has brought out the first caution of this race. DJ Reed is the leader, ahead of Carter Joey in the 31. No, Alex Watts. And there's Watts. There is Reed. Oh, but we're going to see Reed come down on the pit road, though, so that's not going to last. So it'll be Watts, Calhoun, Moore, Rodriguez, Martins, Alexander, Macro, Yodel, Zankala, and Farley, the top 10, as DJ Reed's going to come down onto the pit road, giving up the race lead, and most definitely the race victory. But anyway, as we get the one to go now, we'll take a look at the replay after this race comes to an end, because this is likely going to be the last restart here at Iowa. Watts looking to go back-to-back. Calhoun looking for win number 2. Same for Moore, same for Rodriguez. Martin's looking for 1. Alexander looking for his 3rd career win. Macro looking for his 1st. Yodel looking for his 1st. Zankala looking for his 2nd. Farley looking for his 1st in this series. It would be 4th of the year on the Trinity River Network. Obviously, the other 3 coming in the CarQuest Indy Racing League. Now, the pace car comes down onto the pit road. We are ready to restart this once again and hopefully decide a winner here at Iowa Speedway in the Pizza Ranch 250. Green flag is out. We are racing again. 3 laps to go. Calhoun already all over the back bumper of the 00. Waiting for an opportunity to make a move with the traffic in front. It might be a little easier. Watts gets a little held up there. Coming around for 2 laps to go. Trying to gap to the 20. Oh, he went wide. Here comes Calhoun to the inside. They're going to try 3 wide. With the lap car of Jordan Lopez on the outside. Winnie Calhoun on the outside. Nick Martins is there with the 22 as well. Can he get around here? Caution's out. Again. Caution is out. Big pile up on the back straightaway. Bouchard up in the air. and a whole lot more cars just got smashed up, and so we're gonna go green, white, checker. That will bring all these other cars that were in front of the leaders around, and we'll reset once again here at Iowa. And so we'll go over a few laps. Honestly, that was probably destined to happen with all those cars stacked on top of each other the way they were. Casey Dean torn up, Daniel Bouchard in the 7 all dented up. And we had a big pileup on the back straightaway, it looks like. So not only now will we take a look at the replays for the second caution of the race, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the replays for the first caution of the race too, since we didn't get to that before. But let's go ahead and take care of that now. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to bring those 2 cautions out. Okay, so much happened here that ended up bringing out the caution. First, Keith Kent turns down into Mike Cook. Is going to turn the 29 around, headed off into turn number 3. But behind, the same thing's going to happen. Reagan Whitlock and Riley Snare get together there. Gets the 92 turned around. And they go up into... Well, Mike Cook keeps it off the wall. But Riley Snare gets slammed by Declan Wellington Turner there. And by this point, the caution's already out, as you can see. But apparently... that wasn't the last thing that happened. So we're gonna take a look at the other thing real quick in slow-mo before we get to the full speed angle. So at this point, after the caution's been out for a while now, Jackson Harrison's gonna come around and he's going to hook down to the pit road right about now as Winnie Calhoun is coming off of the pit road, and they're gonna hit right there. Calhoun tips the 12 of Harrison down to the inside, straight into the opening of the wall, and bam, right there, square on the passenger side, and is going to invert the 12 of Jackson Harrison, and on the inside he lay. But that is all the things that happened that ended up bringing out this first caution of the race on lap 43. Let's go and take a look at another angle. Taking a look again as Cook comes off the pit road. There he goes. He gets tipped around. Behind, Snare's going to get tipped around by Whitlock there. Collects Declan Wellington Turner. And again, while that's going on, as cars come off of the pit road, we'll watch Winnie Calhoun here. She runs over the official as Harrison's going to come around the top side and go down to the pit road. Gets tipped there. Down to the inside he goes. Slams the end of the barrier there and goes on his roof. But so much happened there in that sequence. I hope we didn't miss anything there. But so here first, headed off into 1 there, Casey Dean ran into the back of the 77 of Dale Lightning. And now they're 3 wide, Andrews, Dean, and Bouchard. Bouchard coming up on the inside, bottoms out a little bit, is going to hit Dean, and they're going to go up into Andrews, coming out of turn number 2, and go right into the outside wall. Andrews, a hard hit there, gets slowed up immediately, but Bouchard gets bounced over on the left side there, and he goes upside down, skating along ahead of all this. Igor Barretto's going to come in there. Declan Wellington Turner again into the backside of Riley Snare. That's the second time those two have found each other. Good grief. But Josephine O'Neill's in it. Andrews, Dean, Rose, and further ahead as Bouchard continues to pirouette there in the 7. Smoke coming out of the front of that car. He finally comes to a rest just on the apron of turn number 3. But let's take a look at another angle. So watching here at full speed, you're going to see Dean almost get into the back of Dale Lightning there. Bouchard and Andrews there get in the mix, and pow, into the outside wall they go. And you saw the pileup back there. We're going to just focus on Bouchard now. Stays on the side and the roof, shaking him around like a dog with a bad case of fleas, and gets hit again by Dean there on the inside. Comes to a rest finally, and we are under the second caution of the race now. We are going to go to overtime here. Green, white checker here in just a moment. Track is clear, we are good to go, so let's head to the restart here at Iowa. Well, we haven't done this before in the Scots National Series, but we're going to do it now. Green-white checker getting ready to take place here in the Pizza Ranch 250 at Iowa. We're going a little over here because we had a big pileup on the back straightaway, but you saw the first incident in the replays as well because we didn't get to that before. But now, a 2-lap shootout here at the 7/8 of a mile oval here in Newton, Iowa. Who's going to win it? We're about to find out. Green flag in the air. We are racing again. 2 laps. Martin's going to take a look down low, right off the get-go into turn number 1. He's going to take the lead away. Calhoun did not get a good turn 1 and 2 at all. And he's trying to run away with it now. A big gap. He's coming down to the pit road. Here comes Watts on the inside of Calhoun. Side by side for the lead. More. Oh, goodness. I thought he was going to come back up into the field. Caution's out again. Another smash him up on the back straightaway. And with this, we're going to go to a second attempt. Looked like a for sure Alex Watts victory. Instead, we'll go to a second green-white checker. Did not quite get to the white flag. And the third caution flag of the race is out. Boy, it was very calm that first half of the race. And then ever since lap 40 or so, good grief. They can't keep everything. They can't keep off of each other. But Alex Watts is leading this race ahead of Winnie Calhoun, Quentin Moore, Brandon Yodel, Keith Kent. That's the top 5. You might have a little bit of leverage on the restart too with Jordan Lopez there in the 08 right behind him. And I should mention too, as some cars coming to a rest there on the inside, looks like they may have some technical trouble of some sorts. But I should mention that we were getting to the point of the race where they had cycles at lap 20, 40. Well, we're closing in on lap 60 here. If they need another attempt, they're going to have to come down the pit road. But hopefully they will not need to do that. If this caution goes long enough too, that's another thing to look out for. But here we are, pacing under the third caution of the race here at Iowa. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to set it off. So just as the pace car driver was coming back into his stall, it looks like something's going to happen to Braden Perez. Of course, what doesn't happen to poor old Braden Perez at this point? I don't know why this dude has such bad luck, but he has a failure of some sort. Hamill's going to come up on the inside, bam, right into the side of the 50, and they're going to hook up into the outside wall. Hard hit there for the 36. Perez backs it in there. Barreto, Joey, Logan Alexander might get a piece of the 36 there. But Roberto Crown Jr. sneaking by on the outside there. Zachary Fitzwater coming in late is going to get by there on the inside. But that is why we are under the third caution of the race and headed to a second green-white checker. Let's take a look at another angle. The unluckiest guy in the entire series has another thing go wrong here. Braden Perez has a failure there of some sort, and then bam, right there. Hamill, a very hard hit there on the outside. But doesn't look like anybody else except those two sustained any serious damage. But this race is turning into an absolute poop fest, and I'm just so curious to see who's going to end up winning this thing. Just what an absolutely crazy race this has turned into. Very calm the first bit, but an absolute mess in the final, what was supposed to be the final 10 laps. We're actually extending it out. It's going to be 20 laps longer at this point, but everyone's going to be really close on fuel too on this restart because they pit on lap 20, 40, and now we're approaching lap 60, so I mean, we'll just have to see what happens here. But track is clear. We're good to go. So let's head to the restart here at Iowa. Well, here we go again. We're gonna try it. As some cars, of course, had to come down the pit road under this caution. But we're coming around for the green flag this time. We're getting really, really close here on the fuel window. Who will be able to make it to the end? Who will survive here at Iowa Speedway? Will anybody survive? Because we're heading into green-white checkered attempt number 2 here in the Pizza Ranch 250. Watts leads ahead of Calhoun, Moore, Rodriguez, Macro. That is the top 5 here coming into the restart once again. 2-lap shootout. We're going to try it a second time here in the Hawkeye State. Green flag back in the air. Here we go. Great launch for Watts off the start. Calhoun did not get going at all. Lopez right in behind Watts, that lap car. Will Watts have to come down onto the pit road this time by? Yes, he will. Lopez as well, and a whole bunch more coming down. Quentin Moore stays out on the track. Will he be able to make it to the end? Oh, he's slow on the outside. He probably had to come down and couldn't get down there. So who's going to take the race lead? At the white flag lap, Ethan Farley to the point. 7/8 of a mile to go here at Iowa. They got the white flag, so we'll make it to the end. Down the back straightaway, look out, he's having to come down the pit road too. Who's going to make it to the end? Madison Toll's going to make it. Surviving on fumes. NS Racing's Madison Toll is going to get it here at Iowa. What the heck happened? What was that? You knew it was gonna happen, though. You knew as soon as that last caution came out, they were getting so close to lap 60, they were going to have to come down. Some came down, some didn't. Madison Toll is able to make it all the way to the end, and only looks like 3 cars made it to the end of this thing. And good gracious grief. Goodness. But Madison Toll wins it ahead of Dale Lightning, Joshua Harrison, Riley Snare, Keith Kent, Eric Olson, Aiden Macro, Justin Zidell, Reagan Whitlock, and Josephine O'Neill. That is the top 10. And look at the rest of the standings here. Very few people making it to the end of the race on fumes and on fuel even. And quite a few cars unable to finish this race in the later stages being taken out. But hey, sometimes that's just how it goes in the wild, magical, unpredictable world of NR 2003. Well, that's going to wrap us up here at Iowa Speedway. Congratulations, Madison Toll, on your 2nd career win, first win of 2021. We'll take a look at your driver standings, your owner standings, and wrap it up here in the Hawkeye State. Until the next race, y'all take care, stay safe, and have a good one.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.